See, I've got the flap fully down. You can see how it's blocking the radiator outlet there. So let's raise the flaps because it's blocking the radiator airflow. And this thing is going to cook, I think. Oh no, this thing's going to blow over, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, there it goes. Yeah, we've cooked it. Wow, is it hot? This is an interesting video that I'm going to be making today. This is a little bit different than probably what you're used to. And I realized that probably the large majority of my audience probably doesn't feel this way right now. But down in the southern hemisphere, it is hot. It is hot as anything. So I thought I'd take this Spitfire up today. And I've set Flight Simulator X to be 36 degrees Celsius. That's something like 96 or 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've got a pretty factory fresh Spitfire Mk1a here with the 2-speed metal prop. Yes, 3-bladed prop. So what I'm going to do is just going to go through and just check everything's okay. The coolant's actually a bit low. Oil's okay. Just going to fill up the coolant because we're going to be needing that today. So this is just going to be a 30-minute video on how to fly the Spitfire when it's hot. It's going to be doing some low altitude passes and just seeing how we go in this plane today. So maybe I'll do a few of the other planes, seeing that it's summer right now in Australia, where I'm actually filming this video right now. So I've set the airfield up to be in Western Australian airfield actually. So this is actually my first time flying this aircraft in probably at least 6 months. So you're just going to have to be a little bit patient with me as I try and remember what on earth it is I'm doing here. Okay, you can see our oil temps and coolant temps are already about almost 40 degrees. Nope, that didn't do it. So I'm missing something here. I'm trying to open the little hatch here on the side and I can't. I wonder why. I'm sure it will all come back to me. Ah, yes, the magnetos, we're going to need them. Let's try that again. Let's just make sure everything else is okay. Yeah, that's the shut-off. Just gonna get one more prime. Ah, that's right. Yes, the starting magneto. I thought I was missing something. Ah, there we go. She springs into life. So I've only just filled up the bottom tank full of fuel as the oil pressures come up, so that's all good. Because we're not going to be flying around too much today, just going to be doing some aerobatics. That's right. I just remembered how to open the canopy. Excellent. I'm on board, guys. It's been too long since I've flown this aircraft, as you can probably tell. So just going to do a quick control surface check here. And really you don't need to have to warm up the aircraft in such weather like this, because it's already very warm outside. Oh, that's lean. Just make sure we're rich, fully rich on the mixture. Okay, just going to call to the tower. Forget what runway number we are. Oh well. I'm going to taxi out there and then I'll call to the tower afterwards. So this is going to be an interesting flight. I'm going to see if I can buzz the tower a few times, do a bit of, do some loops and whatnot, and just see if we can't get this thing back on the ground in one piece. The reason why I've chosen the Spitfire Mk1a is because it doesn't have very sufficient cooling, especially at low altitude and on the ground when you're doing ground operations. So just going to see what it's like to take this aircraft up when it's really hot outside, or really warm. I wouldn't say that it's blisteringly hot, but it's a touch on the warm side. Okay, just gonna hold the tail down and give it a quick run up. Got the radiator flap fully open, which we definitely need. You can see already the coolant temp's coming right up already, so just gonna put some boost on and make sure I got the propeller set correctly. Okay, just make sure the mixture's fine. Just make sure we're getting the proper RPMs here from the prop, which it seems like we are. Okay, and you hear that difference in the propeller as it winds down there. I think that's a new feature from A2A that must have filtered its way down to these aircraft as well. Alright, got our lights on, generators on, I can see. Okay, let's see what runway number we're looking at here. 32. Okay, so 320. Just going to let them know we're going to do some touch and goes, and that we won't be flying out of the area, and to look out because we'll be doing some buzzes by the tower. Okay, flaps seem to be functioning okay, and they're just coming up, and they're up. Okay, excellent. Alright, well, coolant temperature is already about 100 degrees Celsius, so I'm not going to give it the beans on the takeoff. I'm just going to very slowly ease into it and just see how we go here. It's rolling along here. Hardly even registering on the speedo, to be honest. There we go, up to about 80 miles an hour. 90 miles an hour, we're lifting off, and wheels up. Wheels up. Oh, hang on. Oh, I just forgot. You have to actually wind it in the Spitfire 1A manually, so you've got to select which way you want the wheels to go and then start winding the hydraulic pump. Of course. Wheels almost up. Yeah, they're up. Cool. I'm just going to close the canopy now, and just going to be doing a few touch and goes, and also some general tomfoolery, I guess. So, going to be trying not to overheat the engine, and already we're above 100 degrees, I believe. We're pretty much on 100 degrees, so one thing I want to try and do as well, I'm just switching into the second gear now for the propeller, taking more of a bite into the air and laying on some more power. So what I do want to do is try and buzz the tower at 300 miles an hour. Whoops. Climb a bit, come around. Won't do a loop just yet. Okay, so I've got the boost on pretty high. I'm gonna dive and just see. Pretty fast. I've got to fix the views up. You can see that it's clipping the canopy glass a bit. I should really fix that up. Oh, pulling into a tight turn here. I love those propeller sounds. It's going to bring her around. Give us some more beans. So I've got the radiator fully open, and that's not actually what you should be doing probably at these speeds even. But owing that it's so hot outside and we're very low to the ground, you can see the temperature gauge there in the bottom right. It's just underneath the boost gauge that's in red there, just to the bottom right of the boost gauge. I might just actually try closing up the radiator a little bit. Back to the, well, almost to the red arrow. So yeah, we're pretty much on 100 degrees. Our coolant. Obviously, in normal operations, as you climb up and into the sky, it gets cooler and cooler. The ambient air, that is. So it's not so much of a load on the actual engine. But flying the way that we are right now is actually putting the most load on the cooling system. The worst thing you can do is be low, slow, and with a lot of power on. But anyway, we're going to do our first touch and go now. Going to bring around, okay, and just hope that I don't crash in a ball of flames. Just going to bring that gear down. It's a bit late to bring the gear down, but oh well, doing it anyway. We need the gear after all to land. Come on, come on. So yeah, okay, gear down. Here we go. And not the best landing. And we're on the one wheel. Awesome. We're on the shoulder. That's how not to land. Okay, I'm going to give it the beans now. We've got a safe margin in coolant temps. We're down to around 80 or so, so gear up. Into the sky. So as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward aircraft to get back into, even after months of not having flown it. I seem to have picked it up, and I kid you not, I haven't actually rehearsed this video at all. I've just jumped right back in, just hooked up my joystick, throttle and rudder pedals, and away we go again. So I definitely recommend the Spitfire Mk1a as a nice learning aircraft, a warbird to sort of get to grips with. Just going to buzz the tower again. Ooh. Okay, I'll do one or two touch and goes, maybe a few loops, and then we'll call it a day. Got the power on pretty hard right now, and we're going to shift the propeller shortly. There we go. That gives you top gear on the propeller, as it were, and you notice the speed's just increased. So you basically just wind it up in fine pitch, and then just flip it over to coarse pitch. There is a little bit of in between, so it's not actually discrete two-speed propeller where you just go from low to high. There's a little bit of in between give, but yeah, it's called a two-speed propeller for a reason. Basically, it's not as fine-tunable as a constant speed propeller, I guess. Oh, nudging on. We're doing about 260 miles an hour here. Just gonna take her skyward and see if we can do a loop. Oi! Awesome. Now the problem with flying this way is you lose both fuel pressure and oil pressure. And fuel pressure normally goes first. And there goes the engine. And here comes the engine. So the engine fitted to this aircraft has a gravity feed fuel system. It's basically a simple carburetor as far as I understand anyway. So when you go inverted, the fuel supply is not great. It's gonna buzz. Oh, 280 miles an hour. So once you lose fuel pressure, shortly after you actually start losing oil pressure as well, and that's when it starts getting really dangerous. But that doesn't happen until probably after about at least 20 or 30 seconds, I think, for flying inverted, that you start to lose your oil pressure. Just going to close up the radiator a bit because I had it open from when I did the touch and go, and I think that's limiting my speed. So I haven't quite finished terrorizing the countryside yet, so I'm going to come around and do a few more flybys. Engine temps are looking okay. They are quite high. They're in the high range, but nothing too horrible. Okay. Engine's nice and toasty, but again, it's not critical. I love doing that. Of course, you don't want to do that when you've got a Me-109 on your tail. Some German aircraft blasting holes in you. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay. Just drop the flaps down. I'm going to drop the gear now. The flaps are actually called landing flaps for a reason, I guess. They're really good at assisting with landing. So we're quite a bit above 100 miles an hour here, so I want to bring it down to about 100 miles an hour. With the flaps down, you can actually bring it right down to about 80 miles an hour, I believe. But you don't want to go too slow, especially when you're doing a touch and go, because if you bleed off too much speed, you're just asking the engine to try and bring that speed back when you want to take off again, and especially when it's nice and hot like it is now. Just open that radiator up, because it gets real hot on the ground, that's for sure. Let's see if we can do a better landing here. Try and grease it. This is better. At least we're almost in the middle of the runway now. That's much better. Okay, flaps up, back up. Give her the beans. And 110. Yeah, we're fine. Gear up. Not a bad little aircraft to fly, I must say. Bit manual. Manual radiator, manual gears, manual landing gear, I mean. Does actually force you to do a lot. Well, okay. Our coolant's gone right through the roof there, doing about 110 degrees. Yeah, about 120 degrees is the limit for your coolant, and that's generally what most water-cooled engines run as their limitation as well. So yes, our engine's toasty, and I'm going to close up the radiator. Why? Because I want to see if I can buzz the tower at 300 miles an hour, that's why. So here we go. Give it the beans. Switch it into coarse propeller. Come on, 260 miles an hour. Oh, nudging 280. I'm gonna do this even if I blow up. Still not a loop. You get quite a bit of power in the dive actually, so screaming down again. 260, 270, 280. Oh no, I'm not really trying. I could be giving it much more power. But I don't want to blow her up, you see. It's already quite warm as it is outside. So doing about 115 degrees Celsius on the coolant again. Of course the high speed helps with cooling the engine down as well. But the climbs aren't helping, I'm sure, especially the high power climbs. Okay, got quite a bit of boost on now. Oh, that's 300 miles an hour, right there. Woohoo! 300 miles an hour. Did it. Awesome. Whoa. Okay, our coolant is, yeah, not happy. 120 degrees. Let's get that radiator right. Whoops, not the map. The radiator flap fully open. Oh god. This thing is gonna blow up. Yeah, that's 120 degrees. Go by the gauge. But I'm not sure the gauge is 100% accurate, so yeah. This engine is hot, hot, hot at the moment. So the best thing you can do right now is open the radiator flap fully. I'm just going to announce a full stop landing. So this is probably the worst thing you could do right now, to be honest. So I'm announcing a full stop landing. Engine is hot as anything. It is coming down though, so just going to pull the radiator flap back a bit. We're down to about 110, so it's not so bad. So it does recover as long as you're flying along at a good rate of speed. Like I was saying before, the worst thing you want to do is be flying low, slow, and with lots of power on. That is what's going to drive your coolant temperatures through the roof. So, oops, pulled up a little bit too much there. Okay, so it's coming for the landing. Drop the flaps. We're a touch fast, but we're okay. Oops. Oops. Okay, flaps down. I should be dropping the gear already, but I'll start doing it now. Okay, so we're back to about 100 degrees. And landing this direction is probably not the best idea either, because we're going to have to do a U-turn and come back. So another tip I can give you is when you land and it's really hot outside in the Spitfire, try and land so that you're facing the hangar so that you can just roll right in and just cut the engine, because the more time you spend rolling around on the ground at 10 miles an hour, that's when you overheat. So anyway, you can try and breeze her in. It's not too bad. Okay, now this is the critical moment right here. So just gonna open the canopy because I'm getting hot in here as well. Okay, just gonna, our priority right now is to swing this thing right around, go back the way we came, because that's where the hangar is. So just gonna check runway's clear. Not too fast to stop anyway, even if it's not. Okay, radiator fully open. And you can see there the temperature's creeping up, we're at 110. So let's swing this thing around ASAP. So make sure the engine's still running first. If you've got the engine down in low idle for too long, it can quit, so make sure you've got some throttle on. Whoa, coolant's climbing. What do I say? I didn't announce my final. Oh well, I didn't do a lot of things. I'm sure. Yeah, still got heaps of fuel. Didn't turn off the starting mag either, but now it's off. Didn't close the primer either, but now that's off too. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of things. Okay. Radiator fully open. Whoa, okay. Oh no. Our temperature is just running away right now. Now you see I've got the flap fully down. You can see how it's blocking the radiator outlet there. So let's raise the flaps because it's blocking the radiator airflow. And this thing is going to cook, I think. Oh no, this thing's going to blow over, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, there it goes. Yeah, we've cooked it. Factory fresh Spitfire is being cooked right in front of your eyes. Merlin's had enough. It's popped its top. So there's not much I can really do right now apart from probably try and keep the throttle low, but try and get the speed up a little bit. Just try and get as much airflow as I can through that radiator. We're only doing about maybe 20-30 miles an hour. But my priority right now is just to get to that hangar and cut this engine ASAP. The more this thing runs, and I forget right now how to turn this thing off. I just want to turn it off. That's not the right way to turn it off, by the way. Oh no. Yeah, we've cooked it. But I guess that was expected. Like I was saying, ground operations is where you'll really cause the damage to the aircraft. So yeah, we've pegged it at 120 degrees. So there's not much I can do right now apart from just wait it out. So the coolant's obviously boiled over. It's releasing the excess pressure from the coolant outlet there that's on the side of the cowling. Especially designed for this purpose, I guess. So yeah. The engine is still, that's a massive engine we've got in front of us, so it's not gonna, it's probably still increasing in temperature, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, there's not much we can really do about it. It's gonna blow over for a while. Shouldn't take too long, probably just a few minutes, but yeah, I really didn't shut that engine down correctly either. I was just in such a panic. We're still doing about 120 degrees there. She's hot. What was I thinking trying to fly this thing in this weather? There we go. That's how it opens. You've got to have the canopy open first. Might be dropping very slightly. Yeah, it's dropping. Okay. I think the worst is over. What I want to do is once it's cooled down a touch, I want to obviously turn the plane around and park it correctly. Like I said, I just wanted to shut this thing off ASAP. That's looking much better. Okay, down to about 115 degrees now. I've only made it very light winds in the game as well, so in the simulation. So that wouldn't have helped with the airflow through the radiator either. So yeah. The Spitfire 1A really has an insufficient cooling system. It wasn't designed for the rigors of the harsh Australian climate, obviously. It was made for the cool British mornings and evenings. Let's have a quick look at the engine and see if we've done any damage. Looks okay. I mean, it's pretty much factory fresh. It's only got less than 10 hours on it, so I think has it used any coolant? Yeah, it's used a slight amount of coolant. That would have been what just came blowing out the side. Let's check the engine in more detail. Components look okay. I haven't done a compression test though, but I'd say that overheating it every now and then like this is probably not going to kill it, but it's probably not something you want to do too often either. Flying like this in this type of weather is not something you want to do too often. Okay. Alright, well thanks for watching guys. I'm just going to quickly start her up again now that she's cooled down slightly. Getting some coolant moving through will probably be good for it now anyway. Get rid of some of that latent heat perhaps. Okay, I'm just going to swing her around and then we'll push her back to where she needs to be. So I hope this has been enjoyable for you, watching me blow up my Spitfire. This is why I don't fly the A2A planes in summer. Just kidding. This is why you don't fly the Spitfire 1A in summer, in an Australian summer. Bit hard on the brake there. Okay, I'm going to shut it down ASAP. Now this is how you shut it down, by the way, by pulling the little, I think it's the slow running cutout from memory. This is going back a bit now. Just hold that pulled out until the prop stops and then let it go. Done. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to try and do one video per week at least if I can, or probably once per fortnight. Thanks for watching.